Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimirandasya Jananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, we have tomorrow and I think half of day after. So welcome to this short retreat. I see known faces and unknown faces. It doesn't matter, faces are faces, in different faces. So we are going to be together for some time. And the subject which we have given out about this retreat center, this particular retreat is, what's that? Spirituality in the modern world. Let me tell you something. That in its essence, spirituality doesn't change in the modern world or in the older world. It's the same. But we need to make some adjustments so that people who are busy, who live in this tumultuous world, who have various problems at home, outside, in the office, you know how it is, can still hang on to the spiritual path. I deliberately use the word hang on because, what happens is we start with good faith, we learn something, and then while we are moving, things become so difficult that we let go. Which is why I'm using the word hang on. So we let go. Then after a while it comes back again. Then again we are in, and then it goes and it comes. You see, this goes on. And for some people, forever. So we need to find out some way by which, while in the midst of all this, otherwise it makes no sense. Today, most of us can't go and sit in a cave and meditate all our lives. This is not going to work. We also can't give up our jobs and say, okay, I'm only going into this. This also doesn't work for most of us. So, we need to find out a way how we can live in this world and at the same time be centered in our consciousness. That's enough. If you can be centered, forget about centered in God and centered in this, that. Can we be centered in our inner self? If this happens, other things are taken care of. So, this is what we are going to do from tomorrow. And I'm sure many, at least some of you have come hoping that Kriya will be taught. Okay. So now I need to tell you one thing in advance. Kriya is not a magic lamp of Aladdin's. You rub it and the jinn comes and says, what shall I do? Kriya, the meaning of the word Kriya is technique. And in the science of yoga there are several techniques. And all these techniques are called kriyas. So it's not necessary that only what I teach is kriya. There may be other kriyas. What I teach kriya is what I know. And it has come from a certain tradition. And therefore when I say kriya, it's that technique, yogic technique, which has come to me from Babaji to Maheshwarnath Babaji, my personal guru, and directly to me. This is the Kriya which I teach. Now this Babaji whom we have here is also the same person, the same being, referred to by Yogananda Paramahamsa in his Autobiography of a Yogi. Well, he said Mahavatar Babaji. This is a word coined by him, which is okay, because he said many people have come and gone and here is somebody who is there for a long time. Doesn't mean that he's going to be there forever. In our tradition we say that a time comes when he will also go. So it's not like that. However, for a long time. And therefore, since he was the Yogananda Paramahamsa in Autobiography for Yogi, for the first time, the Western world especially, even in India, many people, especially English educated people, came to know of the existence of such a being because of the book. Yeah. Now, it's the same source for us, but we don't follow the Yogoda Satsang or the YSS or the Self-Realization Fellowship. But if somebody has already taken Kriya from them and they come to me, I said, please don't change, do what you're doing. Because the central thing is the same. There may be some differences because of various factors. So, this is the Kriya. What Kriya does, why we should practice it or why we need not also practice it, is something that we can discuss tomorrow when the retreat actually starts. This is just, I'm just being familiar with you so that we know what to do, so that you understand that I am not some kind of a frightening being, that you can always ask questions and you can joke, and not always, but sometimes, and we can move along like a one-to-one kind of a discussion in this matter. So I just wanted to tell you that, lest you be intimidated by me. I have nothing to. Do I look intimidating? Unless this intimidates you. So I'm like you. Well, I might have had some experiences. I might have gone through some spiritual practices. I believe that if I could have, or if I have walked a path, you can also do that. I didn't fall from heaven. No immaculate conception. I was a human being like you. And if I could touch that, well, you can touch it too. But bear in mind, I worked very hard on it. If you need to work, yoga and meditation are not hobbies, like taking the dog for a walk. They're important. And if you really know the importance of it, so first part of the satsang tomorrow will be why we are trying to move spiritually. What is the need? Because there are many people who don't. They just carry on with their lives. They have jobs, they grow up, they get married, they have kids or they don't have kids, depending. And then they get old and they die, and that's the end of it. So we will have to ask these questions. So why are we interested in this? Is there something that takes us along? What pulls us to this path? What attracts us to this path? We'll discuss that first. And then we will go into what it actually means to find the center of your being. And then when we come to the practical side, maybe the half day or the evening session, we will very slowly start working on the Kriya. We're talking about it, getting a theoretical understanding, and then before you leave, you'll have the practicals with you. But please remember that there are rules and regulations to be followed by the practitioner of Kriya. Like any other yogic technique, the Ashtanga yoga has yama, niyama, the asana, pranayama, and so on. So there are step by step. But it's a very scientific step-by-step method. No emotional highs, no mass hysteria. It's an individual technique which everyone can sit privately in their rooms and practice. We, for instance, don't teach how the whirling dervishes attain samadhi. No, we are going to go step by step. That has its own importance. We don't touch it. If you like, we can discuss that, because it's very interesting. But I believe the world is already happening and we're in the center of it. So, this is going to be the satsang. And I will give ample opportunity in the middle of the satsang somewhere. We get some time to ask questions and discuss matters. Okay? Only thing you should keep in mind is that the whole satsang as well as the practice of Kriya has no element of mystery in it. Its truth is open. It can't be mysterious. Although nowadays in YouTube people always look for mysteries, This is not mysterious. It's like you and me sitting here and trying to learn how to move. The other thing to note, there are many people here. So different people may be in different stages of spiritual evolution. Everybody can't be the same. Why? Because of your birth in a situation or in a particular family, or because of the experiences that you've had, also the age factor. And if you have started practicing something on your own or from some, so there will be a difference. It won't be the same. We all will have different speeds at which we can move. There's no uniform speed, and there is no shortcut. In fact, Patanjali says the only way to succeed is Nairantariya Abhyasena, regular practice. We regularly practice various things. Why don't we practice this? So it all depends on our priorities and how interested we are in the practice. So we started on a good day with thunder and lightning, and I hope the night cools down a bit for us. It's a good portent actually. I don't believe much in omens, but it's a good omen. That we have started on a rainy day. So Kriya or spiritual life is also like storing for a rainy day. In summer it's okay, you can eat, but rainy day. In this context, I want to tell you that there is a beautiful text. It's not very ancient, but quite old, called the Dattatreya Gita. Some people call it the Bhikshu Gita. It's the same. In the Dattatreya Gita, the main character of this, you can hear me there at the back? Yourself? Yeah. In this Dattatreya Gita, the character who is the hero of this whole Gita is someone called Dattatreya, means the son of Atreya. So, he is considered to be what you might call, in the Indian context, they are called avadutas. Avadutas are beings, let's say also human beings sometimes, who have touched the truth which has exploded into their minds, and they don't anymore follow the usual social norms of normal people. They may do things, we can't imitate them, but they may have something important to convey through this. So I have kind of tried to present an avaduta, different avadutas put together, in a fictional work which recently was published by Amazon called Shunya. If you read Shunya, I'm not saying you should buy the book, please. If you read Shunya, you will find that the character of Shunya is kind of a combination of avadutas, of all kinds put together. So, what I'm trying, so Dattatreya is considered an avaduta. Why I came to this subject is because Dattatreya says it came from the rainy day business, storing for a rainy day. Dattatreya says that he had 24 teachers, gurus, 24. And among the many he has named one of his gurus was the honeybee. He learned from the honeybee that in summer if you gather pollen and store it, it comes useful in the rainy days. So, while we pass through this life, many times everything is okay. But there are times when we come to some difficult situations in life, and there is sorrow, there is pain. If you start your spiritual practice, even when you're happy, I'm normally happy. You have a home, you have a job, you have money. If you start now, then you're storing honey for a rainy day. There will come a time, there may come a time when you have difficulties, you are in trouble. So then there's something you can hold on to and sail this boat across the rough seas. This is very important to note. So I say this because there are many people, I'm quite happy, I'm eating, drinking, I have this, that, I'm fine. Why should I learn? Not you. If you had thought that, you wouldn't come here. But there are people who say, why should I go into the spiritual life? I'm okay now. So my answer to them is, okay, fine. If you're okay, fine. But do you want to think that perhaps you may not be okay at some point? Not being pessimistic, but seeing the realities of life. It's not always all hunky-dory. Things may change. So, do you want to find out something that doesn't change in the midst of all the changes? Is there a changeless thing in us which can be found, and which when found, no matter what storms rage across the world, we are in a beautiful place. So even the practice of Kriya is meant for that. So as I said, please remember, there may be many Kriyas, but what we give is a particular kind of Kriya. Now, when you say Kriya, I don't know if you know this, one of the textbooks which are very important in the study of yoga, we are not going to do the text here, is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Now, in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, even though it is used by many people who call it Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga teachers are there, many, even in Hollywood, there are Ashtanga Yoga teachers. It's become very popular. I went to a Ashtanga Yoga class in Wisconsin a few years ago, and there were young people tying themselves into different kinds of knots. I mean, it's good, yoga is all right. I asked them, do you know how to untie yourself? They said, yes. I said, very good. So then we said, academically, a question, do you know who is the founder of Ashtanga Yoga? They said, yes, we know it. I said, who? They said, B.K.S. Iyengar. So, of course, he was a great teacher of Ashtanga Yoga, I agree with. But the thing is, Patanjali, the yogi, probably post-Yogacara school, taught this great, wrote this wonderful text, compiled this wonderful text called the Yoga Sutras. And in the Yoga Sutras, he never called it Ashtanga Yoga, although it has Ashtangas, 8 parts. He called it Kriya Yoga. The beginning you will see, he says, here begins the study of Kriya Yoga. No, first he says only yoga. Atha yoga anushasanam, here begins the study of yoga. And then the next chapter you see him saying, this is Kriya Yoga. So this is what we are also trying to look at and practice. It's nothing special that has been brought by UFOs and left on the earth. It's something that has come from thousands of years by great practicing yogis who have brought it to perfection, and which luckily we have with us today. And a word of hope, very simple. Make sure that you practice regularly, and therefore follow also the 8 angas, 8 parts, starting from yama, niyama, asana. Okay. I won't go into the details, but because it's always good to have something up my sleeve. So, okay, we'll produce it in time, the rabbit out of the hat. But at the moment, I need to also tell you that I have practiced yoga, hard work, with a master, unrelenting disciplinarian like Maheshwarnath Babaji. For several hours a day. So if I practice for 10 minutes every day and say nothing is happening, or half an hour every day, that's what mostly we do. But then we have other work to do, I can understand. So therefore, all I'm saying, I'm not saying increase it to a whole day of yoga, I'm saying how much ever you practice, that much effect you will have. So be patient. That's all I'm saying, be patient. Don't say, oh, I practice, nothing is happening. What do you expect to happen? First, we have no idea. And if you expect something to happen based upon a description given by somebody, then it will happen, but it will be what you thought will happen. It may not be the original. If you already decided this is the thing I am going to attain, you may probably attain it through your imagination, but it may not be what you really want. So, keep your goals undefined. That's what I'm trying to say. Because we read so many books, right? Somebody says, oh, I had that, it was a flash of lightning inside, and then everything. No, it may not be so flash for everybody. It may be small, small flashes. Need not, like the beginning of the earth, some people say it's a big bang. Some say, no, it's a gradual evolution. So it depends on the person. Okay? So the other thing, last today, because we should wind up today, we'll start fresh tomorrow. You must have just come in today, take rest. Let me say something. While you're here, don't waste too much time gossiping. Waste a lot of energy. Reserve it for your activity during the satsang. I'm not saying you should suddenly give, not that. When you're talking too much, pull the reins a bit and say, hey, watch out. Everything in moderation is the key to yama niyamas. Okay? And unfortunately, in these 1.5 days, we may not be able to have one-on-ones. If anybody thinks they're going to have one-on-ones, I'm sorry to say it's not going to work unless you grab me here and there somewhere, and then I might slip and run away. So, if I feel that somebody needs a one-on-one, then I'll certainly do it in my own way somehow before I leave. Don't worry about that. Okay? So I think everything is clear. I mean, up to now. I can't say everything is clear, but as of now, I think we know what we're going to do, roughly. Yes? Okay. Now, you will also have to go through the practice of Kriya after you learn the technique. But please understand that simply by practicing Kriya, it's not a shortcut. You need to work hard on it. And there are other elements involved. It's not just the technique. Please understand this. Okay? If this much is clear, then we can proceed towards the next step tomorrow. We'll begin with defining what we are looking for. Then we'll go into where that exists which we are looking for. And then how to go about looking for. And then other practical ways of finding it. What is the first requisite for this? So I'm going to stop now. Last thing I want to tell you is that the most important thing in this path is to acquire a mind that is tranquil and quiet. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. What is the meaning of yogas chitta vritti nirodha? We will start from there tomorrow. Is that okay? No? Yes? No? How are you? Good? Do you live here in the US? Philadelphia. You? BC. Ho gelo. Sorry, it's over. So thank you very much once again. I'm happy that you're all smiling. So what's that thing on your arms? There's something written there. This side. No, what's it? Sahai. Huh? Okay. Oh, Greek. That's exactly what I was asking. Logos. Word. Vak. The beginning was the word, and the word was... We have a beautiful expression of that in the Rig Veda. You know, it goes like this. Prajapati vaidam agre asit. No, it won't go. It goes like this. Yeah. Tasya vag divityasi, vag vai parabrahma. Prajapati vai idam agre asit. Tasya vak divitya asit. Vak vai parabrahma. Vak, V-A-C-H is the word used for word. In the beginning was the word. The supreme creation of the world took place through the word. Tasya vak, and that word is the divine. Vak vai parabrahmam, and that vak is the beginning of the supreme reality. It's very nicely said. So let's look at the word also tomorrow. What word? Thank you very much. Tomorrow we might, since this place was started, the retreat was started by Gurdjieff, I will go a little bit into Gurdjieff tomorrow, a little bit, just to give an idea of what it means. Basically, I am very fond of Gurdjieff. He was very eccentric, but then all avadhutas, I told you.